Logical discoveries have revealed that even before the arrival of Oduduwa, the legendary founder of Yoruba race, there were communities that have flourished. And many of these communities were Igbo communities.
Where did the Igbo people originally come from? This question has fascinated scholars, historians, and the Igbo themselves for centuries.
You guys know that I don't joke with some of these historical facts concerning Igbo people in particular. I don't joke with them. Whenever I see them, I make sure that I bring them to the limelight so that it will help generations or anybody to come across my videos, especially these historical videos, to, fall in line with the exact situation. Because they say that if you don't know where rain started beating you, you may not know where it ends. And personally, I have seen that a lot of errors, should I call it error or not, documented facts, probably because there are no, good way of documentation then. So probably some of these facts are not well documented. People rely on what the history, left for them, like artifacts and the rest, to trace what really happened. So this professor is saying that this one will not go down well with the Southwest, that the Oduduwa people. He's saying that the Igbos, the artifacts found in the Southwest before Oduduwa came are traceable to Igbo race. Yes, when I made my own personal research, I discovered that there are people that settled there in the Southwest before the legendary Oduduwa came. That one is established anywhere. So, but the professor of Unilag is now telling us that the artifacts found are traceable to Igbos. Meaning that the Igbos are there before the Oduduwa came. Well, let's hear from the horse's mouth.
I've always told us that there's a lot of history shrouded in secrecy, especially when it concerns Igbos of Western Niger. I've always maintained that inhabitants, the population of people who peopled the Western Niger, are bulkily made up of Igbos. Even Benin Kingdom was predominantly occupied by Igbo people. That is why till today you will still find the elements of Igbo language in Benin. So, I will not only be the one speaking. Today you will be listening to a video recording of Professor Nkem Onyepe, who is a distinguished professor of history at the University of Lagos, Department of History and Strategic Studies, Faculty of Arts, University of Lagos. I'm going to play you this video and keep quiet for you to listen to it. You are going to listen to the voice of Professor Nkem Onyepe dissecting accurately the history of Igbos of Western Niger, so that after watching this video, you will now understand what informs our knowledge. I have always approached this Igbo unification movement from a standpoint of knowledge, because it is a scholarly platform that we operate. We are not touting about, we are not insulting anybody, we are only spewing truth. And that truth we will continue to spew. Today, I am not going to be the one speaking. I'm going to play for you the voice and video recording of a professor of history who will take his time to dissect to us the history, the migration and counter-migration history and reverse migration history of Igbo people of Western Niger and even Igbo people who inhabit Yoruba land. I've always told you that my ancestor, Ezemu, who has 4 other siblings bearing Igbo names, migrated from Ife. Then you'll be surprised, how can people bearing Igbo names migrate from Ife? Around 900 century AD. Okay, I'm going to play this video and you will listen to Professor Nkem. Let's all listen together.
Archaeological discoveries have revealed that even before the arrival of Oduduwa, the legendary founder of Yoruba race, there were communities that have flourished. And many of these communities were Igbo communities. Igbo people are historically associated with massive movement from the Igbo homeland to neighboring areas. The destination of the Igbo people, or the destinations, have been northern Nigeria across River Benue. That's why I have Igbo communities in Kogi and in Benue State and some parts of Plateau. Apart from movement to northern Nigeria across Benue, the major destination of early Igbo migrants were Benin Land and Yoruba Land. People talk more of Igbo migration to Benin. Most people don't know that that migration went beyond Benin to Yoruba Land. We talk about how the Igbo were predominant in part of Yoruba Land until, the legendary Queen Moremi delivered his people by thrift and so on. Then on Benin proper, it's always said that those West Niger Igbo communities from between Benin and River Niger were Benin settlers or migrants from Benin. The truth is that early in their history, because of the fact that they didn't have enough land and they have rapid population growth in Igbo land, they could not move into the Atlantic to stay. And because central Nigeria had empires like Igala Kingdom that could, obstruct movement of Igbo into Ikala land, the only outlet for the Igbo people was Benin land. So majority of them moved there and settled there, became prominent. Some became chiefs, recognized as the Benin monarchy. But because of their audaciousness and aggressive nature of the Igbo, ready to take advantage of situations, enterprising too, they ran into conflict with the ruling class. And so, over time, starting from the 16th century, they began to return to Igbo land. Not all of them crossed the River Niger back to their original source. Only Onitsha was founded by such returnees. Majority of the returnees established communities between Abudu and Asaba. These were not Benin people. So those who say that West Niger Igbo people were Benin people simply because they came from Benin, they don't have the full historical knowledge. They were founded by Benin settlers, no, Igbo settlers in Benin. They were returnees, what professional historians call reversed migrations. So that is it. Though when they settled in these communities, Oboloko, Iseluku, Iselenkpiti, Iselazaba, and the rest of them, Abo here and Abo, more migrants came from Igbo land proper and joined them. Then people came from Igala to join the teeming population. So what I'm trying to say is that it is wrong to say that West Niger Igbo communities were Benin people or are Benin people. Some of them are Benin because when the Igbo were returning, it's not as if they did not return with Benin people. Also have Benin husbands and wives. So no community in West Niger Igbo is ethnologically or ethnically homogeneous, because every community is actually founded by the first set of arrivals and later swelled up by later waves of migrants. That has been the experience of West Niger Igbo area. So the Igbo people who are in West Niger Igbo land claiming they are not Igbo people, they don't know their history, and the Civil War has contributed to that. After the war, there was stigma attached to being an Igbo person, and there was persecution of the Igbo. which has continued. So people, because they want to be secure, to have security in Nigeria, they begin to drop the Igbo name, as has happened in Rivers State. They begin to claim that they're Bini or Igala, whereas they are Igbo people, right from creation. No, many of the towns and communities in Rivers State, they just remove the first name that makes it Igbo, so it sounds differently. If you're Wike, I move N, you become Wike. For example, I'm not referring to the governor, but I can give you an example. All those communities in Rivers State, like Inquiry, like Andoni, they are all Igbo communities. Port Harcourt was established by Igbo people.
Well, you have heard directly from a professor. You know, before you get the title of professorship, you know what you have passed through. And he is now telling us what really happened. You know, one thing I would have loved is let all these things be documented in a particular book. Let people, if possible, come together, you know, and bring their knowledge together. Let there be a well-documented book that will gather all this history together. Well, having said that, there is this one that, you know, try to explain the origin of Igbos. Well, people might have a different opinion, including myself. So if you think that, you know, it is not what you think, just let us know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share this video. Let's show you what the other angle, you know, talking about the Igbo origin.
Where did the Igbo people originally come from? This question has fascinated scholars, historians, and the Igbo themselves for centuries. Over the past 70 years, many researchers, especially African scholars, have pushed back against the misconception that the Igbo lack an interest in their history, a true archaeology, linguistics, and oral tradition. New light has been shed on Igbo history. But just like the origin of the word Igbo, the true descent of Igbo people is still debated, as none of the origin theories put forward has been fully proven. In this documentary, we will look at three main theories on the Igbo people's origin: the internal migration theory, the Far East origin or external migration theory, and lastly, the autochthonous and always been here hypothesis. At the end of the video, we will speculate on the most credible of these theories. You can let me know which theory you find most convincing in the comment section. Please take a moment to like this video, as your support means everything to us. Thank you. The Igbo people are one of the three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, with their homeland located in the southeastern part of Nigeria. They inhabit an area divided by the river Niger into two unequal sections. The mainland and the riverine Igbo, often refers to Olu. In the pre-colonial era, the Igbo people lived in decentralized communities, often organized into village groups or clans. There was no sense of a pan-Igbo consciousness until the advent of colonialism. Actually, the word Igbo, according to some, may have originally meant community or ancient people. Because of this decentralized nature, determining the origin source of the Igbo people is a bit more complicated than usual. The internal migration theory of Igbo origins suggests that the Igbo people emerged from kingdoms within present-day Nigeria. According to this theory, early Igbo groups, mainly hunters, farmers, and metal workers, likely migrated gradually from areas around the Niger-Benue confluence into their current homelands around 4000 to 3000 BC. This theory is supported by a combination of archaeological and linguistic evidence. The archaeological site at Uguele in Uturu, Abia State, one of the largest ancient stone tool manufacturing sites in the world, shows continuous human occupation from 2935 BC to 15th century AD. The lowest level of this site is said to show evidence that humans inhabited the region as far back as 250,000 years ago. Meanwhile, the findings at Onsoka and Afikpo archaeological sites revealed early Iron Age settlements with dates that overlap with the upper level of Ugwuele archaeological site. Pottery works found at the site resemble contemporary Igbo pottery in form and decoration. This evidence points to indigenous development by the Igbo in the southeastern region. Linguistically, the Igbo language belongs to the Kwa subgroup of the Niger-Congo family, which likely branched out from the Niger-Benue area, and the Igbo language is supposed to have started separating from its related languages around 6000 BC. Linguists argue that the spread and diversification of Igbo dialects suggest a long period of settlement rather than recent external migration. Based on the theory of internal migration, the Igbo have been living in their homeland since at least 3rd millennium BC. The second theory, and a relatively recent one, is the external migration theory. It suggests that the Igbo people are descendants of Jews who migrated from the Far East, possibly Egypt or preferably Israel. Colonial era scholars like Leslie Amory Talbot theorized that the Nubian Wars of Amenhotep or the conquest of Egypt by Hyksos around 1870 BC pushed people south and west, some of whom ended up in present-day Nigeria. The theory gained traction partly due to what is seen as cultural similarities between Igbo, Asia, and Hebrews. Such similarities include practice of circumcision, animal sacrifice, and certain linguistic patterns in Hebrew and Igbo languages. British missionaries in the 20th century, like George Basden, even compared Igbo customs to Levitical practices in the Bible. He suggested that some elements of Igbo religion and language may have Jewish roots. The stigmatist Innocent Okori expanded on this idea, identifying Shemfi-Igbo in Judea as original Igbo town before migration and tracing a full migration path from Judea to Igbo land with specific names, dates, and locations. Even though this theory has become popular in some circles, especially among Igbo Christians, it lacks strong archaeological or linguistic support and is viewed with caution by many historians today. One can also say it resembles the typical colonial viewpoint that anything good in the black race must have come from outside. The third theory, the autochthonous hypothesis, holds that Igbo people are indigenous to southern Nigeria and never migrated from anywhere else. Professor Elizabeth Isichei, in her book, A History of the Igbo People, captures it thus: "We did not migrate from anywhere, write it down, quote and unquote." According to some scholars, archaeological findings suggest that the Igbo have lived in their present homeland from the dawn of human history. Researchers like the archaeologists Adiele Afi-Igbo suggest this view, referencing the dates of several archaeological findings, especially the prehistory sites at Ugwuele, that indicate that the Igbo have lived in the region for more than 6,000 years. And as noted by Professor Elizabeth Isichei, the people of the areas regarded as the Igbo homeland like Nsukka, Owerri, Okigwe, Olo, and Oka have no known migration marks that trace their origin to any foreign land. This theory agrees with what some people believe as meaning of the name Igbo, Ndigbo, to mean ancients. If we consider the antiquity of the archaeological evidence across Igbo land and Igbo territory, we have come to the conclusion that Igbo land has been occupied far more longer than the migration theories suggest. The excavations at the Stone Tool sites located at Ugwuele reveal 3 cultural layers on top of each other, with radiocarbon dating placing the earliest layer circa at 2935 BC, and the oldest layer is tentatively suggested to be as old as 250,000 years old. This means the site is definitely much older than 5,000 years old, older than the Amenhotep wars that triggered some migration, and even older than Jacob, the father of the tribes of Israel in the Bible. The Stone Age to Iron Age progression seen in the archaeological records from Ugwuele to Afi-Igbo, the Nsukka and the Igbo sites shows the Igbos specifically had been in continuous occupation of the region. All artifacts excavated in Ibuku by Isaiah Nozier and Professor Tuxton Shaw are similar in style, size, and uniquely Igbo. To us at Enugu Cultural Forum, it seems the Igbo people sprung from their current homeland. After all, the earliest human ancestors were said to have emerged from Africa. In conclusion, findings published in the book They Lived Before Adam by Professor Catherine Acholono also cements the fact that the earliest human ancestors lived in Igbo land. Examples such as the Sanskrit from the Ikom monoliths point to the antiquity of Ndi Igbo. We will continue this analysis in our subsequent series. Let us know which theory you find most convincing. Let us know in the comment section. Please remember to drop a comment, like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Well, that is it. That's why I said that some people may have different opinion, and it's good to have an acceptable documented book on the Igbo origin. Simple. Well, people sometimes have issues with when they say that this is Igbo King, this is Eze Ndi Igbo Lagos, or this is Eze Ndi Igbo na Ghana. The recent one is the problem is in the South Africa about Eze Ndi Igbo. In South Africa, what is happening? Why is it a problem? Why other people have their own Seriki, so place, Seriki, so place? Why is it our own a problem? Now we are going to see the Oba in Enugu, southeastern part of Nigeria, in the heart of the Igbo land. Let's hear what Oba has to say.
This is an Oba of Yoruba people, speaking right here in Enugu, in Igbo land. Now pause for a second and think about that. A Yoruba Oba in Enugu, not in Lagos, not in Ibadan, not in Oshobo, but in the southeast of Nigeria. So here is the big question. If Yoruba people can have an Oba in Igbo land, and Hausa people can have a Seriki in Igbo land, why is it suddenly a problem when Igbos organize themselves abroad and have something called Eze Ndi Igbo? That is what we are going to break down in today's video.
In my early marriage, I married from Yoruba. Those days, okay, they didn't want you to go to the East.
You forced yourself, you went.
You went. Then you want to marry from there. They say, no, don't do that. But it's not nowadays. Yeah. I will tell you something. So that time, they will tell you, as soon as you gather money, don't build a house there, don't buy, come and build a house. Even if you will build in exile or in a foreign land,
first of all,
first come and build a house here for us.
So we are sure that you are not running away.
So that is what, but let me tell you, the narration has been changed.
Yes.
The narration has changed totally now. I'm a living example. I married from Yoruba. I also married from Igbo land here. I married from Abupa, Suka zone. Abupa and Suka. And the marriage was blessed by Allah. That is one. Then 2022, my son married from Amofie. Amofie is in Enugu.
Your son also married
Igbo. My own son married Igbo. So if the Igbo land is not good or sweet.
And you supported it.
So why wouldn't I support it? I married from here. He married whom he wishes to marry. Whom he find love in.
Yeah. Why didn't you do like your parents did? That okay, I've tried here.
That is so.
You now go back home.
But I told you that narration has been changed. And he says we are in modern world. I cannot dictate for my son.
All right.
Where he find peace or love, he can pick a wife from there.
And they are doing fine.
They are doing fine.
Wow.
Yes. Maybe if he has married from my place, maybe he will not find peace. But yes, because I say he's not married from here. But he has married from here and there's peace there. All the way. There's peace.
So is he your son from Yoruba woman that married Igbo?
My son from Yoruba woman.
That married Igbo?
Married Igbo.
So now your family now you're having you find Chinchi or man or whatever?
All my father, apart from that, before he married Igbo, himself has an Igbo name.
That one is from Yoruba woman now, so it's pure Yoruba.
But I'm telling you that the one from Igbo, Yoruba woman, all of them has Igbo name.
Can you tell us some Igbo name?
Yes. My my five children from that Yoruba woman, that first one, the one that married for Amufi.
Yes.
His name is Sheikh Ayub, and he has Uzodema. Ahambariye. The one I gave him that name. If people see Uzodema, I said no, not Uzodema. Uzodema is it's not certain. It's a kind of question is there.
Okay.
Uzodema, that if the road is good.
Yes.
I said no. Uzodema. Because as at that time, 1988. And yes, Uzodema.
Not Uzodema.
Uzodema is you are
asking the question.
If the road is good, but Uzodema, the road is good.
The road is good.
I have gained.
Yeah.
God has blessed me here.
Okay.
So God Uzodema.
Yeah.
Not Uzodema.
Okay.
Uzodema.
Okay.
So I gave him Uzodema. Okay. Then the second one is a girl. I gave her Ngozi. But I gave her Ada Ngozi.
Wow.
Ada Ngozi.
Wow.
That's what I gave my daughter. And after that one, I gave Ebere. Then I gave Chukunonso.
Wow, God is close.
Yes, Chukunonso. I have Chidema. I have Ebere. I have Chukunonso. I have Uzodema. I have Ngozi.
Wow.
So then the one I married from Igbo land here, also, I gave them, all of them, all my children.
Igbo name.
Yes.
Except that it's not in their birth certificate.
No. No, even my anyone among them that loves to want to put to be there, I give them. You know, when we are doing naming ceremony in Yoruba land,
yes,
we will give many names.
Yes.
But many names that I gave them in Yoruba, I couldn't even remember them.
But you are remembering this one.
Because like some people will see me and say, what of Uzodema? I say, yeah, it's doing fine. What of what was that? Ngozi? No, so I said they are fine.
Wow.
And whenever they ask me about that, I know whom they are referring to.
Yes. Yes.
Because I find this place very pleasant for me.
Wow.
And that's where God decided me to be. So whatever they are doing here, okay, like the one I married in Nasuka, the mothers are Negala. Okay. Agala woman.
Okay.
It did not take me up to 6 months. I started speaking their language.
Wow.
So when we had the first child, I gave her name Ojochegbe.
Ojochegbe.
Ojochegbe. That's what I give.
What do you mean Ojochegbe?
Ojochegbe. That is God is with me. God has done well.
Yeah.
God has done well. Wow. I had another one. I gave Ojochegbe. That God is with me.
Wow.
So I gave the other one Ojonuba. And because I want to relate with all this tribe.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, if you understand language of other people, you will love them.
You will love, and they will love you.
And they will love you. If you understand language of other people, they will love you and you will love them. It will make you will not hate them.
Yes,
but when we have Sunday in India,
yes.
But by the time you understand their language, you will love them.
Exactly.
When they are talking something that you didn't understand, even though you are closer to them, you think that they are even insulting you,
exactly.
They are discussing you.
Exactly.
It's good. I have sometimes in many interviews I said that I would suggest if government of Nigeria can put it inside in our school curriculum.
Yes.
That at least the 3 major languages, if they can put it in our school curriculum so that everybody, the Hausa can understand Igbo and Yoruba language. Then the Yoruba can understand Igbo and Hausa language. And the Igbo man will understand Hausa and Yoruba language. At least to an extent.
Exactly.
That will bring about love.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. Exactly. Bring about love.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ụfọdụ ka a na-asị m amụrụ m ebe a ọ gara akwụkwọ ebe a etogo m eto anọ m Enugu mgbe m bịa Enugu na senti na m bịara Enugu a eso m wee tụọ vootu ekwọ m n'aka wee bịa Enugu amago m ihe wee bịa Enugu abụgoro m nwoke wee bịa Enugu a anọ m ebe a tụọ vootu nke anyị tụtara Chief Dr. Jim Ifeanyichukwu nwa obodo o ji wee bụrụ gọvanọ Anambra Steeti ma Igbo tụrụ ilu asị na ụra atọghị ụtọ ekwewe that when somebody has gone into deep sleep they will start snoring. That's the meaning of that. You know. So when the sleep is sweet, then we start snoring. Then when the stain is good, Then I'm going home, coming back. This is good for this guy. So those people, my brother, my uncles, follow me. Even my siblings also follow me.
Sure.
Yes. I brought my cousin. I brought my uncle.
What did you? What? And they were fine here. They were
Yes. So none of us made it here. For instance, Igbo and everybody said that Igbo only because now watching.
Is you?
I live in Enugu, so I find things smoothing for me. Then I got married, had my children here. Ní Dale. Torí pé a jẹ́ ẹni tó máa ń jáde tí ò ń jókòó tẹ̀tẹ̀rẹ̀ nílùú ẹ̀. Láìka àti máa jáde lọ ìdálẹ̀. Ẹ bá lọ sí Hausa ẹ̀rọ àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀dẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Ẹ bá lọ sí Kaduna gbogbo Hausa ni. Ẹ bá lọ sí ilẹ̀ Igbo ẹ̀bá àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀dẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Kó ẹ bẹ lọ sí Ghana ẹ bẹ lọ sí Ivory Coast ẹ̀rọ àwọn ẹ̀dẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Ó dàbí ẹni máa sọ pé àwọn Igbo náà pa máa arìnrìn-àjò. Àti oníṣòwò oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ni ọmọ ẹ̀dẹ́ jẹ́.
Kí ló wá dé tó pé èdè ló pọ̀ jù nílẹ̀ Igbo gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá tí mo tọ́ àwọn ilẹ̀ Igbo ẹ̀dẹ́ ló pọ̀ kí ló fà?
Ẹ̀dẹ́ náà kì í ṣèdú tó kéré apọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
A sì tún jẹ́ oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ oníṣòwò.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Tí a máa ń rìnrìn àjò.
Okay. So we have established your Yoruba, right?
Of course.
What year did you come to Enugu?
Well, I came to Enugu a few years ago. A few years ago, I mean, I came to Enugu in 1979.
Wow.
Precisely February 7, Monday, I came to Enugu.
Wow, fantastic. So that will be how many years now?
And I'll leave that one for you to.
Fantastic. So are you planning to live in this country, this state?
Well, I will not tell you I'm planning to leave the state because there is something we all fail to believe in, which is qadar.
Okay.
In Arabic, that is destiny.
Okay.
Some days ago, I heard a story about an Igbo man of 80 years in foreign countries, in Asian countries.
Yes.
So I think that's where he has been destined.
Yes.
By his creator to live. They find this place very pleasant for him. So it has no cause to be jumping from one place. So I find this place very suitable for me and pleasant for me.
So for the past,
and moreover, since I've been chosen by my people to lead them as an Oba, I don't think living Enugu is all that in discussion for now. Okay.
So for the past 46 years of being in this state, it has been pleasant for you.
Very pleasant.
Very pleasant.
Yes.
Eba kimurasi Igbo.
Yes, eba kanu watasu Igbo.
Na so yadi kama afọ.
Well, nka bo ya ga-ekwu iche. Maka na gbasara akụ asụsụ. Chineke nyere m onyinye enu asụsụ Anambra State so. Mgbe aka ya tụrụ kwa Alhaji Shehu Shagari, Second Republic, President of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
So, banka mbere Enugu.
How na san kichwa kana jin Hausa. Anan abin na Enugu ka koya?
Ina jin Hausa. Na jin yare Hausa. Kuma ban taba je arewa ba, ban taba bi arewa. Ka san mutum zai ce to ya je arewa ya zo na ko sakara daya ko biyu ko uku. Shine ya sa ya je. Mun ne ban taba je ko ina.
Anan kake?
Nan daga nan suna jin yare yana magana
da Hausa.
Da Hausa suna kama. Kadan aka.
Harka iya.
Harka. So ya wallahi shi ne. Na sa zuciya kuma ina son ji yare. Da bakin mutane ban bi a cikin Hausa ba ko mutane mu da suna cikin Hausa nan Enugu. Akwai bangare wanda zamu kira kaman Hausa quarters nan Enugu. In ka je Owerri Road ko Richard Street ko Church Road ko Gidi bangaren ko Gariki ko Artisan wurin zaka gan Hausawa suna jama'a. Amma na zo na wurin da ba Hausawa.
Kuma ka ji ka kama harshe.
Awwa ne ana kira shi awwa na chale out. Ba Hausa ma na ganin Hausa suna yawo suna sai dai abu. Abokina kaza dai akan na kama na fara nji Hausa.
So, which means if you are in the midst of Hausa, you flow. If you are in the midst of Igbo, you flow. If you are in the midst of Yoruba, you flow.
I mean, akwa.
Yes.
Na-eyi kita.
Yes.
Mgbe gara aga
easy.
Ọ bụ na nọ n'etiti ndị Igbo.
Yes.
Abụ m onye Igbo.
Yes.
Nọ n'etiti ndị Hausa, abụ m onye Hausa.
Udodi.
Ana m eso ndị Hausa na-akpọ m dịka onye ndu ha bụ Seriki.
Yes.
Yusuf Abubakar Sambo. Ọ ya asị m bịa soro mbe meeting na m eso. Anyị nọ ebe ahụ onye na-asị m pụọ maka na ama na ụfọdụ na-akpọ m wakili Seriki. Tupu m abụrụ no Seriki ndị nke anyị.
So now, so we haven't established the three languages. It's good we go straight into English for our listening audience. The relationship with the owners, you are settlers here. Your relationship with the people here, is it cordial? The owners of the land, the Igbos that are in Enugu, is it cordial?
It's very, very cordial. Because, you know, when I wanted to come to Enugu, 1979,
yes,
my grandmother was crying.
Yeah.
When I prepared, Mama, I'm leaving to go and stay in Igbo Land, she started crying.
Now give me what would happen?
Because what they had been hearing before, that Igbo Land, they will eat you, they will eat you up. You know, I know that one is because of the, you know, the war.
Exactly.
That happened.
Propaganda.
So then, that time, or before, prior to that time, the Yorubas are not willing to come to the east.
Yes.
So my grandmother cried. I said, Mama, if you want just to help me with prayer, I will not be eaten up. Then I came to her and he prayed for me. He said, God is going to give you mother and father there. As I came to Enugu, God has chosen for me any area I stayed, I will have father and mother there.
Wow.
They took me as their own.
For real.
For real.
Wow.
Yes.
Before your grandmother is late now? Right?
Yes, late now.
Did she, before she passed on, did she have any cause to rejoice that, my son has come home, he's doing well?
My grandmother just passed on 2012.
Okay.
So long ago, she embraced and thanked God for bringing me to Igbo Land, because when I came to Enugu in 1979, 1982, I took her last born, which is my junior, the last born of my grandmother. I brought her to Enugu. He was in Guinea before. I brought him to Enugu.
Okay.
About 4 years later or 5 years later, the one that senior me also, my grandmother's son, I brought him to Enugu.
Your grandmother was allowing them?
Yes, both of them are here in Enugu.
And they're doing well?
That when somebody has gone into deep sleep, he will start snoring.
Yes.
That's the meaning of that. So when the sleep is sweet, then we start slow snoring. Then when the stain is good, then they are going home, coming back. This place is good for this guy. So those people, my brother, my uncles, follow me. Even my siblings also follow me.
Sure.
Yes. I brought my cousin. I brought my uncles.
And they were fine here?
Yes. So all of us made it here. For instance, you know, Igbo and Igbo, they said that Igbo onye biko na awachi. I live here in Enugu, so I find things smoothing for me. Then I got married, had my children here. All of them, but they went to primary, secondary, and tertiary institution. So I think I have every cause to thank God. He has the knowledge of being chosen here for me to stay.
You don't regret coming here when you look back?
I don't have any regrets, because God has.
Well, my people, you have heard it all, and like I said, I don't joke with such documentaries, and I want to bring it to you guys so that if there are areas you can bring in your own contribution or corrections, let's hear and have an understanding, and let's shape our future and the future of our children. I still remain Chinedu.